We are at Seymour Lake Township Park, one of our 4 Oxford Township parks. We are the host site for the Hana's Garden, Community Memorial Garden. Shortly after the tragedy, our Parks Commission and our staff worked with the family on securing this site that we're on now as a future site for a memorial. So the planning's been going on for over a year, moving what used to be a gaga ball pit here, so we have the wide open space, that then the designers have worked on turning this into a future memorial with a large garden and reflection space that will be adjacent to our new Davis Family Farmers Market and visible from the road. So this just seemed like the ideal location that's towards the front of the park, that a lot of people have spent a lot of time here, and this is a great gathering place for the community.
So about a year and a half ago, Ron Davis, who was the Parks and Rec director for Oxford Township, contacted me and asked if we'd be willing to help them design a garden for the Oxford shooting victims. We came out and met with the family here on site in it was late May of 2022, and started having a discussion about what they would want to see in a garden space for their daughter. We've certainly tried from the very beginning to incorporate symbology that represents all 4 of the shooting victims. And I think we've accomplished it pretty successfully through different planting designs, different trees and materials that reflect Hana and her life, and then also in the large central sculptural piece, which has 4 large rings that are interlocked together to represent the 4 children and how their lives will forever be intertwined.
So this has been like over, well, probably close to 15 months that we've been thinking about this garden. And I think it just feels like a place where we can feel connected to Hana, where the community can come together. I mean, this park is a staple of this community. If you have kids in Oxford, your kids have been here. So to be able to have a space for Hana, Justin Tate, and Madison, and to come together as a community feels fantastic. And it brings the family joy, and anything that brings them joy is really important to me and to a lot of other people.
I'm here today to support the St. Juliana family, and just to celebrate Hana's life.
I'm here because I met Hana through my little sister, but I've always known Hana's older sister. And me and Hana and my little sister always ate breakfast together every morning. So I'm just kind of here to support the garden, kind of do everything I can to make sure it gets built.
I've been in the community for a long time. I've worked as a police chaplain, fire chaplain. I knew everybody. I knew the teachers involved. I knew many of the families, and then I was asked to officiate Hana's funeral with Jesse Holt at Lake Point Church, and so I feel like I need to be here.
We're here, my whole family's here. We help support the St. Julianas. We made a lot of crafts to sell today. My wife's company's name is Kai Creations. We made a lot of pallet signs, and a lot of my daughter's friends helped out make a lot of the jewelry.
really we wanted to be able to provide a space that is open to everybody. There's no charge to get in this park. It is something that most everyone in the community is familiar with because of so much activity out here. I mean, we have 4 softball fields here. We have 6 soccer fields out back, 4 baseball fields, a large playground. We just have so much activity out here that this has been a place that many people in this community have come over the years, so they're familiar with the location. That's why we liked this space, where we know people already come and are familiar with, and it won't be hard to find.
So our story is always an interesting one. St. Juliana will say, I think we should have a groundbreaking. And then we just sort of start running with it. So we're really fortunate to have Oxford Parks and Rec be so supportive. So it just started with some phone calls. Do we have the space? Do we have the time? And then looking for vendors, and it just sort of snowballs from there. So lots of notes, lots of lists, lots of check marks, lots of fingers crossed, and really a lot of people. I mentioned 3 of us on the marketing team, but we have kids and husbands and friends and an abundance of support that helps make these events happen.
To me, I feel like it's healing. It gives a place for these kids to come and just reflect on the sad events that happened, but give them a place to hopefully heal from the events that happened, and just have a place to celebrate Hana and all the other victims.
We're close neighbors of the St. Julianas. I'm involved with 42 Strong as well. Just big in the Oxford community, trying to help out whenever we can.
I think just because it's to keep her memory alive, so we have something to visit, to think of her.
I wanted to see some beauty come out of all of this. There's some of the worst things that I've experienced or seen, and I just needed to see some beauty. I don't need the Miller hearings. I don't need any of that. I needed to know that she would be remembered for beauty. It would still break our hearts. It's a memorial. We'll still be reminded what happened. We're not going to forget her. We're going to wish that she was here. But there'll be a garden, and every spring it'll remind us that there's hope. And I could use some hope.
If you're from Oxford, you know about this garden, and as you can tell by the turnout, there's a lot of people that are here that want to support it. I think you know our biggest desire is to see the park fully realized. So to make sure that we have the funding for in perpetuity, so that this park remains for years and years and years to come. So in any way that the community can support that, and they've already supported it quite a bit, is really important. And I also want to say thank you, because this doesn't happen without the community showing up like they did today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can it go off? No. All right. Welcome, and thank you all so much for being here. Woo! What a big crowd on a rainy day. So about a year and a half ago, I know, quite right in the back. Raina had a classmate approach her about a garden for Hana and a fundraiser to support it. A lot of you were with us that day. It was April. It was freezing cold. I think you waited outside in line for hours. And the fundraising surpassed what we expected. And the garden kept growing and growing from there. So here we are, groundbreaking for a very, very special community garden. So fundraising and maintaining the garden is challenging, and we are very grateful that you're here today. All donations received through the Memorial Fund are essential to the project and future maintenance. And we are experiencing a gap in fundraising. So if you are interested in being a corporate donor or you know someone that is, please find me or message us on our Facebook page. We also have some information about the fund that supports the Hana St. Juliana Memorial Fund, and right underneath the number 11, so you can visit Kathy there to get more information. Where is Kathy? Oh, there she is. Good. Okay, a couple of quick thank yous, because there was a lot of people that made today possible. First of all, thank you to all of you for being here and spending your time and your money with us. We couldn't do these events without you. A big thank you to all of our vendors. Big round of applause for them. They put in a ton of time and effort. There's a lot of handmade gifts here today, a lot of love that went into this event, so thank you very much for that. Thank you to Oxford Parks and Rec and the Davis Farmers Market for giving us this space to do this. It's a great farmers market, so you should keep coming back to it. Thank you to Jeff Brown at Oxford Elementary School, who lent us a bunch of items for today. Signorama, Wojo's, Tractor Supply, all for donating items. And that's enough of me. I think we'll get into a series of guest speakers to tell you a little bit more about the garden. So I'm first going to welcome Chris Nordstrom up to the stage. Chris is landscape architect and planner with Carlisle Wortman Associates. Chris has a strong interest in sustainable design and development, and his experience includes, but is not limited to, park plans and designs. And Chris has been with us since the inception of this project and really helped the St. Juliana family dream about what this memorial garden could be. So, welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much. So I want to talk a little about memories. And when I was in 6th grade, little kid, long time ago now, I had a very wise man say to me that there's going to come a point in your life where you're going to have a memory that hits you that will stay with you forever. And I didn't really know what that meant at that time, and none of the kids that he told it to knew what it meant. And then as the years went by, we started to realize just what that can be. It can be something positive, like the day my son was born, or the day that I married my wife. It can be something negative, like the day of the Challenger disaster, 9/11, or November 30, 2021. Sorry. The day I want to talk about today, though, was actually May 26, 2022, and that was the day that I met the St. Juliana family for the first time. And I had this vision for what we would talk about. I was really excited about this. As a landscape architect, it's great. You know, wow, I can make a lasting impression on somebody, make something that's going to last beyond my lifetime. That's wonderful. And, you know, in a selfish way, it was wonderful. And we got out here, we met up at the administrative offices, and we walked down to this space right over here. And I got about 10 feet from where that tent is right now, and I looked at Steve and Raina, and I lost it, kind of like I was just a moment ago. It was the first time I really realized the importance of the situation and the importance of this park, and what this is going to mean for the family, and for the community, and for Tate's family, and Justin's family, and Madison's family, and of course for Hana's family. And it made me realize just how important it is that we make this something really, really special, and we make it something that is going to last forever. And I think we've come pretty close to that point at this, right now. There are so many people that I want to thank. I'm going to narrow it down to really the design team, because there's going to be a lot of other names that you'll hear in the coming year. But we're going to start with the Smith Group. Bob Doyle can't be here today. Youngji Zhao can't be here either, but Catherine DeCray is here. She'll be talking to you in a moment. I want to thank Phil Castoni and Ron Davis and Oxford Parks and Rec for making the space available for this garden. It's going to be spectacular when it's done. I want to thank Dean Morales of Heritage. He has been instrumental in making this grand vision reality, and has been instrumental in bringing in all of these contractors who are going to donate their time and materials to make this something that is just an amazing, wonderful space. And then I should have written this down because I'm forgetting somebody, at Four Counties Foundation for their help in bringing in more donations and helping steer things together. But as you think about the space going forward and what it's going to mean, and I'm going back to memories again, what I hope this becomes is a place where we don't focus on November 30, but instead we focus on the 17 years that have happened before then. That we remember the individual children and all the people that were affected by this terrible, terrible tragedy. The St. Julianas, and the reason that I got so choked up was it really struck me that these were just good people brought into a terrible, terrible circumstance. And there, but for the grace of God go I. This could have been my child. This could have been any one of our children. It could have been, and this happens daily now. So I hope that this garden serves as a reminder to people that we can work together, that we can make a difference, and we can make some changes. And I hope it brings some healing for the family and for everyone else here in the community. Thank you very much. And with this, I'm going to pass this over to Catherine.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so joining us now is Catherine DeCray. Catherine is a site designer with Smith Group. Smith Group has been around for a really long time, 1850s. International architectural engineering and planning firm. So Catherine is part of the design team that refined the overall concept for the garden and provided the detailed drawings. Hopefully you've had a chance to swing by, again, over by the number 11 there and see some of the drawings for the garden. It's gorgeous. Catherine, like to join me? And keep the microphone up close to your mouth so people in the back can hear you.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible crowd. I feel honored that so many of you are here and here to celebrate Hana and the beautiful family and what this park is about to become. So again, it's a really great privilege to be here. We, Smith Group, got to be a part of an incredible team of folks thinking through what this park could be. Again, my teammates who are not able to be here are Bob and Youngji. They spent countless hours thinking about the design, refining it to better suit the vision of the family, who Hana was, and they brought a ton of creativity to it as well. So we came in after Chris and saw the original design, and we continued to have conversations with the family about site restrictions and think through what else can be done. How can we refine this more to reflect who Hana was and what the community needs for this park in this healing process. So the design took a ton of inspiration from Hana's culture as well as what she cared about when she was here. The planting plan was a key element in the design. We planted tons of lavender all over the park since it was one of her favorite plants and also one of her favorite colors, which many of us get to wear today in these t-shirts. We also have numerous cherry trees planted all over the site to honor her heritage in groups of 4 in order to also honor the different victims of that event. We put together a beautiful entryway fountain that is modern in its look, but goes back to what a Japanese style fountain for reflection and healing and personal connection. We also put together an arbor memorial. This will have beautiful words written from the family about who Hana was, as well as her name in her original Japanese character when you enter into the park. That's going to actually be located right here, going right in from the farmer's market. It's going to be beautiful. And finally, the biggest piece of the entire garden is Hana's tree. So everyone knows Hana loved trees. She loved community, celebrating all of us. And this tree is planted in a way where wisteria, a beautiful purple vine, is going to be grown up the entire thing. It's going to be on a plot of grass, so all of those looking to heal and remember can lay down on the grass and look up at Hana's tree and think, reflect, and heal. It's been a wonderful privilege to be a part of this project. It's been painful at times, but hopefully this design, this event, and all of those who've been involved will forever get to be in this park and continue great things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay, so this doesn't happen without a place to send money in a way that we can hold on to it and use it over time. So joining us from 4 County Community Foundation is Kathy Dickens, Executive Director. 4C is a nonprofit community organization created by and for the people in the communities they serve. And one of those is right here in Oxford. So they continue to make a positive impact on our community, especially with their partnership with the Hana St. Juliana Memorial Fund. Welcome, Kathy. Come on.
It is my honor to be here. I'm sorry. I am a retired school principal, so I might be on the loud side. I want to thank everyone for coming out today to support this wonderful garden. 4 County Community Foundation is really honored to hold the endowed fund for the garden and for future projects having to do with healing in the Oxford area. 4 County Community Foundation serves areas within the counties of Oakland, Macomb, St. Clair, and Lapeer, and has served that area since 1987. So we lend certainly a sense of credibility and a sense of community, a sense of strength and honesty that certainly supports this effort, which will fund the build of the garden, the maintenance of the garden, and then future projects into perpetuity. So all funds donated will go to a tremendous effort. I would like to say briefly that there are really no words that could be strung together in a series to resonate the significance of Hana St. Juliana to her school family, to her immediate family, her extended family. I did not have the honor or privilege of meeting her in person, but I feel like I have met her through coming to meet her father and her family and people in the community. I believe that what they're telling me, what they're showing me is that she stood for love, compassion, helping others at times above self, and that in her memory, this garden will be built. And probably something that's most poignant for me is that the St. Juliana family was compelled to reach out to the other student families, the other children who were taken in this terrible tragedy. They, again, kind of in honor of Hana, said, let's reach out to these other individuals and let's involve elements that reflect them and their memory and their legacy. And so it's just an honor to hold this endowed fund and to be able to learn more about it. I actually have been to this park many, many times in recent years. I walked it this morning as I got here a little early and I wanted to get my morning walk in. And already early this morning, there were people out throwing frisbees. There were little kids and moms playing on playgrounds. It was busy already. What a beautiful place to have this garden right in this very spot, so that forever and ever people can come and visit and sit and remember and heal and understand the potential of the future. Because let's not forget that those lost, such as Hana, live on in each one of us. What good can we do to honor them? And the fact that you are here today tells me that you recognize that story and that you honor these young people who were taken far too early. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting Ford County to hold this endowed fund and to do the good work that the St. Juliana family wishes to do, not only for themselves, for other families, and for the community. Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you, Kathy. Rory and Charlie, I don't see you. Are you close by? So I'm looking for Rory and Charlie to join me up on stage. They're coming. We do have two more speakers, but before our final two speakers, we have a couple of presentations. So I'd like to welcome a bunch of friendly faces from our Oxford Meyer. But in particular, we have Rory Roberts, Store Director, Charlie Vincent, Food Line Team Leader. Come on up. Steve, come on up. Our Meyer store has served this community in many, many, many ways. We're absolutely thrilled that they're here today presenting a check in the amount of $5,000 on behalf of $10,000. Woo! On behalf of the Meyer Corporation.
Actually, this donation is from the Meyer team members, and I'll explain a little bit how that works in a minute. Obviously, we're all here to support this community, right? That's why we're all here today. And I fortunately work for a company that it's built in their DNA to support the communities that we serve. At the end of the day, I hope everybody here is proud of how my team members show up every day, how they show up today, and how they're going to show up in the future as this community heals. We're not a one-minute thing. We're in this to support this community, and that's why we're here today. Meyer team members get an opportunity twice a year to select who they want to impact inside their community. They get a choice of how that money is going to be forwarded, what it's going to represent, and how it is going to impact others. That's their guidelines. And I'm very proud to let everybody know here today for our summer campaign, the Meyer team members at Store 197 have been honored to support Hana's Garden with a check for $10,000. For a lot of you, you know how close I am to this and that you've met me before. And understanding that this adventure that we have to go on to get to the end or to go to a place of healing, I promise you, Meyer's 197 will be here every step of the way. And I hope that you are proud of the team that we've created at our store and how we serve you every single day. Thank you very much for having us today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rory. Thank you, Meyer. I don't need to name that. Okay, yeah, you guys stay right there. Don't go anywhere. If I could have Bill Economo and Jim Peltier join us on the stage. Jim and Bill are members of IBEW Local 58. That's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Bill is also a neighbor to the St. Juliana family. The IBEW's foundation has generously donated $20,000 to the garden in memory of all 4 students, Hana, Justin, Madison, and Tate, who, as you heard, will each have a designated tree in the garden. Thank you very much, IBEW Local 58. Want to say something?
On behalf of Local 58, I would just like to thank the executive board and all our members for their considerate and generous contributions to Hana's garden. And when it's completed, the garden will be a beautiful place to remember Hana, Justin, Tate, and Madison. May their memory be eternal.
Thank you, IBEW 58. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, you guys can fire off. So we have 2 additional speakers today, and then we'll move some people over underneath the tent to do our official groundbreaking. But just a couple of quick things before I bring up our final 2 speakers. Thank you. Shopping at the market remains open until we're sold out, and we're selling out of stuff already, or 4 o'clock. Also, there's a 50-50 raffle. Shannon and Jack Curtis are floating around, Kana and Sylvia too, so get some 50-50 raffle. We're going to draw probably closer to like 3:30, 3:45, but we'll post the winner on Facebook, so just be sure to check back there if you're not staying with us. And I think that's all I have. So joining us now is Raina.
Hi. If I could remember every detail, every memory, every laugh of Hana's, I would. As most of you know, she makes it very difficult to describe her in words because my words wouldn't invoke the happiness and humor she effortlessly handed out. She was just always sharing, whether that was her smile, laughter, sarcasm, kindness, or her eccentric ideas. There was just never a dull moment. She was the glue of our family. She was always paying attention to small detail and thinking of those around her. I think that's how she made everyone around her feel so special. Her love was so unconditional, you could never question it. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of her. There are just countless places and things that remind me of Hana, but we know that not everyone had this much time or memories with her, so we wanted to make a space where we could share the light she brought to our lives with all of you. This garden is to remember Hana, but also Justin, Tate, and Madison as well. It has grown into so much more than what we thought from all the love and support from friends and community members. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I think this garden will reflect the beauty Hana, Justin, Tate, and Madison brought to the world, just in a little bit of a different form. I can't wait to get started. So again, thank you.
Thanks, Raina. Okay, I'd like to welcome Steve up to the stage. Steve is our final speaker today, and then we'll move over and break ground.
So I'll keep this very brief. I made Raina go first because I knew she would say most of everything that I wanted to say, and keep the burden on me a little lighter. First of all, I just wanted to once again say thank you to everybody in the community, to the core group that's put this together, to everybody who's donated to help bring this vision come to life. Today's groundbreaking is a milestone in this project, and very, just happy to get to this spot and looking forward to hopefully this spring to have a grand opening, late in the spring, to have a grand opening and have you all back there to see the finished project. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, at this time, I would like to have Noah and Raina and I and Steve, Chris and Catherine make their way over to the tent. 3, 2, 1.
If you were here, you saw I got a little choked up. This space to me is a representation of what we as a society need to do. We need to come together and find a solution to this needless violence. We recognize that this could happen to anyone. And I think one of the things that struck me so profoundly was meeting the family and realizing that these are just normal people like you and me. At any given time, somebody in the United States is facing the same questions, the same feeling of why? Why does this have to happen? I don't pretend that this garden is going to solve that problem overall, but if it makes somebody think, then I think it served its purpose. And if it helps the family come to peace with the tragedy and start to heal themselves, that would make me just ecstatic.
Really just to always keep Hana in our memory, you know. We also did an event for them with the Pistons because I used to play for the Pistons, and Hana wore my same number, 52. So that's where we have a connection also.
Just remember her for her bubbly personality, her sarcastic responses, and just how beautiful she was. And all these flowers, the garden will really represent her beauty.
I'm just really excited that there's such a great turnout and that they're actually now being able to groundbreak on this. I feel like everybody's been waiting for this to happen. So.
Flowers are beautiful. You could look at them all day and the colors and what they do to a landscape and how they we give flowers. You know, we look at flowers, we plant flowers, and just every spring it's new. Again, like I said, hopeful. So the beauty of her life will be remembered in the beauty of the garden that we plant.
If you want to make any contributions moving forward, you can scan the QR code that's in this video, or you can go to 4ccf.org and make a donation there. Tax-free. Join us in building this garden.